What is this? Who knew? Everything I believed about poverty was wrong. All right, this guy. Wow, let's check it out.
Why do the poor make so many poor decisions? The poor borrow more, save less, smoke more, exercise less, drink more, and eat
Whoa,
less healthfully. The
really?
underlying assumption is the same.
That's amazing. So they look. What do they act? They exercise less. They drink more, eat less, smoke more, and they're less healthy. Wow. Right? This is what he's saying according to probably all the past stats and this and that and this and that.
Drink more, and eat less healthfully. The underlying assumption is the same. There's something wrong with them.
Oh, there's
And to be
something
honest,
wrong with them,
this
right?
was
Oh. Right? Poverty is a personality defect, right? And to be honest, this was what I thought for a long time, Margaret Thatcher. Right? That somehow all these people are just squeaky. Oh, they're just they're just a defect, right? Wow, what a shame, right? Because everybody's like, oh, poverty is a result of capitalism and therefore it is wrong. We must get rid of poverty. Poverty is the enemy. What? What is poverty, right? But I'm sure if you bash it in, it'll tell you, oh, can't wait. Poverty is a oh, they couldn't wait to multifaceted. I was gonna say manufactured concept. Wow, who knew? But it's a multi-faced and a multifaceted. Wow. Just so complex, guys. So complex, people, you won't even know what it is. So that's why you need to have relentless amounts of figurines, action figurines, telling you what it is, which may include social, economic, and political elements. Oh, all of them. Oh. Absolute poverty, extreme poverty, or destitution refers to the complete lack of the means necessary to meet basic personal needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. Right? Oh, they couldn't wait. Poverty, says Wiki, says some bash, is the scarcity or the lack of a certain variant amount of material possessions or money. So it could be either of all these things. But yet you boast and stand behind it and cry as if it were just this one thing that emotionally makes you feel not good. Aww. This article may be too long to read and navigate comfortably. Please consider splitting your mind and self into other subcategories of bash, right? Who knew? Right? Because what is poor? What is to be poor? Poor you, poor me, poor this, poor that, right? Wow, no clue. Zero clue, right? Because apparently to them it's just some scarcity of some variant, who knows? But it's all capitalism's fault and this and the oppression of man and 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 man. Right? Because apparently women and children, right, don't come into the picture at all. Just man and his oppression. He can't wait to just kick everyone in the chest and force everybody to just die. Starting by carving out the life out of women that just just don't want that life coming out of them. No, they want to just create their own life in their image of how not to be poor, apparently. Wow. The threshold at which absolute poverty is defined is considered to be about the same. Absolute poverty, extreme poverty, or destitute, right? Refers to the complete lack of the means necessary to meet basic personal needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. The threshold at which absolute poverty is defined is considered to be about the same. The threshold. Oh, the threshold. Independent of the person's permanent location or era. On the other hand, relative poverty occurs when a person who lives in a given country does not enjoy a certain minimum level of living standards. Oh, as compared to the rest of the population of that country. So relentlessly compare yourself to others and then see, oh, poor me. Exactly, victimhood to the 33rd degree, and you love it so that you can have something to constantly be working to rid and that and this, all in your efforts because you're the one that created it. So, oh, you must fix it somehow. Oh, but no, you'll say, I didn't create it. I'm just in the systematic oppression and suppression and disillusion. Wow. Because somehow there's absolute poverty and then relative poverty. Whoa! And just so many variants that you can be poor in. Uh, which include social, economic, and political elements. Wow, who knew? Right? It's just bash. Bash, bash, bash. Yet they dangle this over you as though you weren't poor, and therefore you have the responsibility to help those who are poor, apparently. Right? And that's why you have to go invade other countries and then just bash, make a bunch of little teeny tiny block things that they go in and say, look, a school. Look, you can go and learn the ways of the world to be somebody. Now you're not poor. Now you're not poor, and just because we give you bottled water and give you something to what eat, what right? Because these people had no idea how to produce food for themselves or somehow maintain food. Why you say? Oh, because now they've still they still work and produce food, but guess what? They're defrauded out of it, for it is then distributed to other geographical locations, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. So they're defrauded, right? To reap, the what they sow. So every man's work, every man's labor, he's being defrauded from what? Using it himself, or having it be what he feeds on. Food, right? Food, just food right now. Food, who knew? But even then, any given so-called work that you're doing out there, it's work that you don't necessarily see the rewards in it immediately. No, you get coin. You get coin in exchange for your work. So somehow it does not compute, it does not calibrate, right? Does not make sense. It's somehow you boast and boast and boast and say, "Oh, I'm making a living for myself." All the while depending on others to, grow your food, right? Tell you how to live, how much it's going to cost, and who's going to thieve from you, and how much they're going to thieve from you. So it's just backwards, okay? And people love it. People love it. You're like, "What? I can work my whole life and have that work mean nothing, but as long as I got some coin out of it, somehow then I'm able to have social economic power in the bash political scheme that I'm oppressed under." Wow, great. Amazing. Give me more, right? And it doesn't matter what political scheme this is, right? Because it's the same thing. It's just the worship of man's authority over man, and somehow they just got to get better at it, right? Wow, what a shame. For man's, authority over man isn't, right? Isn't what? Isn't based on any absolute. No, it's based on pure relativity, solipsism, some bash collectivism notion of, oh, it's for the greater good or this or that, or it's for the for the betterment of human life and quality and blah 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 and opportunity and all this bash. What does that even mean? Nothing. Exactly, because they just dangle it in front of you. It's false promise, right? All the while, look, you cry about this, you cry about trash, you cry about people who sleeping and living on the streets, and it just blows your brain apart, right? Why? Can you not see that your worship actually requires this to exist? For it is a desolate worship based on bash, nothing. Based on man's false promise, based on man's trust on other men in the ways of the world, on the based on the worship of whoever has the best story to sell and is full of emotion, which means nothing. Emotion, and you can't wait and boast about compassion, and this and that and this and that. Really, compassion for what? Exactly. You can't wait to prove yourself right, and then show others. Look, see, look. There's still poverty around, and why is it 2019 and we still haven't solved the issue of poverty? Right? Just boasting somehow is for man to figure it out, right? Wow, they already figured it out, right? They've already figured it out. They've already figured it out, and now it's just amazing, 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 and nothing is gonna change, but somehow it's gonna be sweet and sweeter and sweeter. Sweeter, the sweetest thing. It's the sweetest thing ever. The sweetest thing, right? But based on what? Based on your bash belief that somehow you're going to get us out of the poverty, into some glorious utopia, the real utopia. Oh, you couldn't wait to boast that you have the answers to real utopia, right? Wow, you don't think anyone else has ever bashed, said, oh, I have this system. I have this system which will make everything better again. Right? Make what? The ways of the world better? Wow. No, the ways of the world are the ways of the world. Who knew? And it'll shapeshift and turn and contort and just be all things and nothing. It'll be all things and nothing, for it just defiles you, sucks you dry, and thinking that just by sucking you harder and faster, then you'll give and give and give, right? Endlessly to what you call the poor, right? Or somehow we just all have, the same coin, the same amount of coin, and somehow we'll have the economic power to go out and blast in society. Amazing. Amazing, right? So somehow this guy's saying something.
Was what I thought for a long time. It was only a few years ago that I discovered that everything I thought I knew about poverty was wrong. It all
Whoa.
started when I accidentally stumbled upon a paper by a few American psychologists. And it was an experiment with sugarcane farmers. You should know that these farmers collect about 60% of their annual income all at once, right after the harvest. And this means that they're relatively poor one part of the year and rich the other.
Oh, you
And the
couldn't wait.
research is
No, it's just some sort of coin that they have, right? In exchange for sugarcane, right? So somehow they have a lot of coin one part after the harvest, and then less coin as they use it throughout the rest of the year, right? So somehow they're rich and poor. So what is this guy saying? So their poorness, right? How poor they are apparently depends on how much they sold or how thrifty they are with with their coin that they boasted and this and that. So now they're doing IQ tests. Wow.
Asked them to do an IQ test before and after the harvest. The farmer scored much worse on the test before the harvest. The effects of living in poverty, it turns out, correspond to losing 14 points of IQ.
Wow, so it makes you dumb. Being poor makes you dumb, apparently. Or at least you score less on an IQ test if you're poor. Right before harvest, they score less. 14 points lower on IQ test. Wow.
It turns out that people behave differently when they perceive a thing to be scarce. And what that thing is doesn't much matter.
Oh, he couldn't wait. Scarcity based mentality. Who knew that this guy's, telling you exactly what the, giants like the Tavistock, and all the think tanks, which are just spirit cooking your interpretation of the life that it is that you say you're living. And you look around and you see the news, the papers, the articles, all the apparent, world events in this. And you say, yup, it's that. Right? But it couldn't be that all these things and all these events are in orchestration, right? They're doing exactly what they're supposed to at that time, right? It's like reading sheet music, right? You know when the little note comes and blah blah blah, and how strong and how light you're supposed to touch it, and which rest and which ghost and this that blah 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 blah, right? And all of a sudden you're hearing it and you're like, wow, music, right? So the same bash. You look out and you see, oh, the life is just horrible. Look, there's so much poverty, right? And that's the song they're hearing, and you don't know that all the little notes are put in their place just so that you just take it as a murmur of something that you just say, well, that's somehow the way it is. Wow, what a shame. What a shame, right? All just bubbled and just they're blasted in all sorts of swarm ways. Look. Sectors. Oh, there's so many sectors. What we offer. Please tell me what you offer. Look, I want to offer more. I want to offer the poor a way out. And all this and all that. All in your bash blind state of not realizing you are bankrupt. You're nothing. You're just poor. I don't care. You can be the richest person on earth. You're poor. You're poor because nothing of your coin boasts anything about what truth is, what life is, and the way. No, none of it. None of it. It's just some other counterfeit bash way, some other bash relative truth, and of course, all to boast in some bash artificial life that you say you're living. Wow. Right? Consultancy, research and evaluation, professional development. Ooh, who knew? Group relations, a conference of participants. Participant may expect to develop their capacity to manage themselves in the multiple roles necessary for contemporary leadership. So they just bash you, split you into like thousands of characters, and then pick the best one. Amazing. The Food for Thought Lunchtime Talk Series. So who knew that they're the ultimate educator, right? The Tavistock, the ultimate educator, source of just lecture, presentations, professional development, consultancy, research, and evaluation, right? Interpreting the data that's out there, all the metadata, all the data mapping, and this and that, and how to use it to blast into the future, blast into through the sun to our galactic buddies. Aw, amazing.
Whether it's not enough time, money, or food. Poverty is not a lack of character. Poverty is a lack of cash. The big
Oh,
question is, of course, what can be done?
so poverty to him is just a lack of cash. Lack of cash makes you poor somehow. Wow, amazing. So you just gotta make sure you just blast and make as much of it as you can every day. every day. Just blast, 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 blast. Make that cash, baby. Make that cash, because otherwise you're just poor. You're just some poor guy, just poor, just poor. And but doesn't mean you're not a nice guy. It just means you're poor and you're posh. Apparently there's something wrong with you, and you're just squeaky, 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 squeaky. Right? So guys, we just gotta make sure everyone gets the right amount of coin somehow.
It's an incredibly simple idea.
Is it?
Basic income
Oh,
guarantee.
he couldn't wait.
It's a monthly grant, enough to pay for your basic needs. Food,
A monthly
shelter,
grant.
education.
Right? Who funds that grant? Oh, daddy daycare. Who knew? Who knew it's daddy daycare? So they just steal and give back to the poor. Yay, daddy daycare. It's my new Robin Hood. Daddy daycare and the false promise that daddy daycare will just smash and distribute equally for everyone. Yay! Because somehow daddy daycare is an amalgamation of all the power of the people, and somehow it's just bleeding back to them and giving them what they need to eat and survive, and not be some bash poor, 14 points less of IQ bash, right? What a shame.
It's completely unconditional. So no one's going to tell you what you have to do for it, and no one's going to tell you what you have to do with it.
Wow,
The
false
basic
promise.
income is not
False promise, right? He said it's unconditional, right? So they're all creating just bash derivatives of some notion, right? That they think is going to save humanity, but no, it's because they're running away from the unconditional love of the Father, right? And they're creating just all these bash, shattered versions of unconditional this, unconditional that, and people are just like, amazing, amazing that, wow, 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 smashed.
a favor, but a right. And its proponents have spent the spectrum from the left to the right. From the civil rights campaigner, Martin Luther King, to the economist, Milton Friedman. I stumbled upon the story of a town that had done it, had actually eradicated poverty. This story starts in Dauphin, Canada.
Oh, right? It had to be Canada. The socialists just wonder wetland, wonder wet dream. Right? People say, "Wow, they have healthcare for everyone, and this and that and this and this and that and this," and so somehow, even despite Canada being the greatest boasted nation that there is out there, filled with the most polite people apparently, and they all just play hockey somehow, and they're just all in ice somehow, and they're relentlessly made fun of, but somehow they're the little brother, the little little sibling from the partner down south, and somehow we're just buddies. What is going on? Oh, but a dolphin, right? The space dolphin couldn't wait to just rid of poverty. This story started in Dauphin, Canada. Amazing.
In 1974, everybody in this small town was guaranteed a basic income, ensuring that no one fell below the poverty line. The people in Dauphin had not only become richer, but also smarter and healthier. The school
Smarter.
performance of
You mean just hadn't lost, right? Those 14 points of IQ? So they became smarter somehow. No. They just didn't lose those points, right? In your own past study that you referred, you said people before harvest scored 14 points lower. But somehow that means now that they got smarter because they gave them some basic income. Aw. School performance. Wow, look, an arrow showing you it just went on an incline. It's rising, rising. Just the peak was 1976. Somehow it just got lower. The school performance of kids improved substantially. Whoa! Yeah, they were able to be brainwashed better. Right? When you have the minimal basic income, you're just better brainwashed. Amazing.
kids improved substantially. The hospitalization rate decreased 8.5%. Domestic violence incidents were down, as were mental health complaints. And people didn't quit their jobs.
Whoa.
Similar results have since been found.
Right? Because that's the point of life, people, to not quit your job. and to go to school relentlessly and just learn all the bash things that they have to say to you, and it doesn't matter because whatever bash things they say to you just changes from era to era, generation to generation, just to fit and give you enough to just keep you just somehow boasting how you're getting smarter, and then knowledge is power, and somehow you're gonna leave school and then bash into the world that you say you just can't get enough of. All the while, you're complaining about, oh, I don't have enough, so I need more, more, more. And so, who knew knowledge wasn't power? Apparently, it just comes down to how much coin you have, right? Otherwise, you're just some bash poor thing that nobody cares about, right? Or that somehow they all care about and just relentlessly boast about how poverty is just so wrong. We shouldn't have poverty. We're just some cancer. Aw. Exactly, lost, have no idea what life, the truth, the way is. Nothing.
Found in countless other experiments around the globe, from the US to India. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. How could we ever afford a basic income guarantee?
Right, because
Well,
now
they
it's like,
didn't
so now we're
often.
the poor ones, right? So it's like, how can we afford it? Because we're just too poor to afford it. It just gets worse and better apparently. Because look, he's saying, here's the thing. This is how we get rid of poverty. We just somehow have to have the biggest amount of cash and just distribute it, but we don't have it yet. So we have to find out a way of how to just steal it from those who apparently have more than the apparent less, and take it from them, and then shuffle around, distribute it, mince it up, chop it up, and then just feed it back to you somehow. Yeah, that's it. And somehow that gets rid of poverty, just making everyone poor. Everyone have the same. And everybody's just boasting, yeah, we're all the same. We are the people. We are the one. We are the change. Oh, right? Change of what? Nothing, because all you're doing is shape shifting and abusing life that brings forth life relentlessly. But no, somehow you're the distributor of how that life is on earth, and you get to say who lives and dies. Exactly. You can't see that you're the playing God. And who knew that that's why you're constantly burned and relentlessly smashed and defiled and just wrong. But who knew that in your wrongdoing you will boast and just boast and say, look, I have the solution. We just all have to do this. No, who knew? Who knew the ways of the world? The ways of the world are just champion, right? They're champion because of the lie. The belief in the lie, the belief in a counterfeit, the belief in how much you can boast in it and just go out there and smash and engage in and apparently change things, to rearrange your living room, and somehow that's the whole point of life. No, what a shame.
Is they finance it with a negative income tax. And this means that your income is topped up as soon as you fall below the poverty line. And in that scenario, according to our economist's best estimates, for a net cost of 175 billion, a quarter of US military spending, 1% of GDP, you could lift all impoverished Americans above the poverty line. Basic
Wow, right? So he's saying, oh, the GDP and 1% of that somehow will just solve all poverty. Wow, amazing.
income is so much more than just another policy. It is also a complete rethink of what work actually is.
Is it?
And in that sense,
No. It's just contorting you, creating effigies and bash, straw things that you can go and shoot and dismantle and just build up again. Dismantle and build up again. Blah 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 blah. Nothing. Right? It's a rethink of what work is. Right? But he's gonna say what work is in the sense of making stuff and this and that. No. What is the work in life? What are the works of life? Aren't the works of life based on what it is you worship? Yes. But no, apparently it's just a rethink. We gotta rethink of what work is. Wow, bashed. And in that sense, it will not only free the poor, Wow, this guy's playing savior somehow. No, no. What freedom are you talking about, right? You're gonna release them from what? Oh,
It will not only free the poor, but also the rest of us. It's like Brad Pitt says in Fight Club. Too often, we're working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
so this guy's doing it apparently for the poor, but no, who knew that he's doing it for himself? He's like, I want something different. I'm tired of this thing and da da da. Come on, people, let's just rehash and spirit cook some new reality for ourselves. Wow, what a shame.
I believe in a future where the point of education is not to prepare you for another useless job, but for a life well lived.
What does that even mean? Nothing. Is not to prepare you for another useless job, really? Oh, right? So somehow they want to get blasted, ridded, and just create new work, right? Because who knew that everyone, under the sun, right? Everything under the sun lives. Who knew life? What knows life? Wow, who knew? But no, it's man that has recreated what that means and what it shapes for him and how he shapeshifts in it. And now he's all of a sudden in charge of it all. And he's alone, so therefore he can't. He's just stumbling, and trying his best to better it for himself and others. Apparently, no. That is the lie. That is a useless, bash way of thinking. That's the useless way of what? Living. Yes, an abuser of life. Who knew? But he of course, a well lived. What is well lived? Comfort, enough coin, right? Enough friction to just get you by to the next day and boast of how amazing it felt. Whoa, nothing.
I believe in a future where an existence without poverty is not a privilege, but a right we all deserve.
It's not a privilege, but a right. Just like the right to pursue some bash happiness. The pursuit of happiness and bash, nothing. What does that even mean? The right to be relentlessly unfulfilled. That's what it means. You have the right to be unfulfilled and just bash and think you're chasing some dragon. Amazing. Amazing. Because now, look at it. So this guy, it's not a privilege, it's a right. It's a right. Look at he gets you. uh, right? It's a well
But
lived
for a
life.
life well lived. I believe in a future where an existence without poverty is not a privilege, but a right we all deserve.
Of course, a future without poverty is a right, apparently. So somehow we're just relentlessly bashing that right. Right? Today and as long as the ages. Right? Because who knew that they're, go back to your past Sumerians. Wow. So you think they had net income? Basic income? Wow. Amazing. Bashed. And you say, of course, because it was a man that couldn't wait to kick women in the face and just relentlessly abort her children. Right? Oh, that's what it was? And you'll say, no, 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 of course not. That's the beginning of it all. And we've gotten to this point of sophistication and complexity, and somehow we're in charge now. And it's 2019, right? Wow, we should be all over this new idea about being, poverty being ridded is some right and not a privilege. Wow. What is this? Some bash. Look.
Always been. I think all of these things sound radical compared to where we are. This isn't radical, this is what we've always been. I think all of these things sound radical compared to where we are, but where we are is not a good thing.
So where we are is not a good thing. Wow, what is this? I have no idea. It frightens me. Look. And you say, of course it frightens you because there's a strong, independent woman. It's just marching out there, just setting the way and the blah, blah, blah. What is she saying? Nothing. Just bash, empty, nothing.
And this idea of like 10% better from garbage shouldn't be what we sell.
Oh, 10% better than garbage. Right? Who knew that you just said exactly what you believe in? You believe in garbage because she relies on little tiny teeny numbers that tell her, oh, how much is that and this and that and growth and oh GDP and oh, right? And and so who knew that your garbage is just the same as that other garbage? So garbage in, garbage out. Wow, who knew?
Settle for. It's like this, like, it feels like moderate is not a stance, it's just an attitude toward life of like,
Right? She just wants people to just go and just radicalize, become that electron that is here, there, never there, just somehow, but we predicted it by some orbs, and who knew? All of a sudden, we're just going to blast ourselves to the next level of color. Whoa! Smashed.
we've become so cynical that we view meh or we view cynicism as an intellectually superior.
Oh, she couldn't wait. And it's everywhere, right? From Bash Simpsons to all these other Bash shows, Rick and Morty, all these Bash sitcoms, all these Bash movies based on just to demoralize you and take everything from you. Thieve life into acceptance of some Bash ridiculousness of existence, cynicism, nihilism, solipsism, Bash, 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 all of it. And this is the embodiment of it. Look, all of it is speaking through this person right now, all the while mocking it and saying, all this is, we've been just, oh, she can't understand why. Wow.
Superior attitude. And we view ambition as youthful naivete. When we think about the
So somehow, nihilism, cynicism is king, and ambition is seen as some bash naivete. No, this is what this person is saying, right? Because what is ambition but self boast and self betterment? Of you somehow getting into a better position of hierarchy that you worship. Wow, who knew? No, but it has to be ambition. Everybody's ambitious. Everybody should be just relentless competition, trying to be the best. But yeah, there's somebody always better than you, so it doesn't matter. But just boast, and somehow it will take us to the next utopia. Wow, what a shame.
greatest things we have ever accomplished as a society have been ambitious acts of vision.
Who knew that's what Stalin said, and all the great, tyrannical leaderships out there that you say, oh no, they weren't great. No, they were great because they worked exactly what they were supposed to do. Smash, right? They did exactly what they were supposed to do, but no, somehow now you have to use ambition for good, right? Because ambition can be used for good or bad, right? Believer in the Jedi. Wow, somehow this person is a Jedi. Wow, who knew?
And the meh is like worship now for what? Like for what?
Right? The Ma is worship for what? She couldn't wait to just say that word, but she is misled in her own wordsmithery. Who knew? And everybody
One of
goes
the
nuts, right? Everybody just loses it and starts going, yeah. Amazing.
things about history is that it is often revisionist. You know, Martin Luther King is cast as this
Staring.
angelic person that never made anyone mad and just asked for civil rights and got it. And
Of course, look.
unions were always just seen as like this great, powerful thing that nobody died for a 40-hour work week and a weekend.
No, what about World War One, World War Two, right? You just take that as like, well, meh. The real problems are today, buddy, right? And they just can't. They just want to stay in this moment, forever stuck in the moment with you. Who knew, right? They scoff at you and say, well, yeah, but history. But then they'll use history whenever it's convenient for them to use, like now. But what was going on? World War One, World War Two, right? The world apparently was being shapeshifted. It was being rehashed, rebobbed, given some bash new story to go along with it that you will just repeat and pair it out somehow, use it against you. Wow, who knew?
And it's a similar thing the other way with the New Deal is that we act as though the New Deal wasn't racist.
The New
And the New
Deal.
Deal was an extremely economically racist policy.
Okay, so this bash is now complaining, but now look, again, denial of how. Well, do you think that those people, okay, anything in politics is an accident, right? Who knew? Who knew it's all a plan of mapping the future and using you to do it? Wow, right? And this is it. Look, problems, right? They use social science to bash you, right? They apply social science to contemporary issues and problems. Wow, right? They're telling you right there. But no, you're blind to it. You just say, no, no, no. This institute just helps people. Oh, amazing, amazing. You can't wait to just hold the hand that just relentlessly defiles and abuses you. Wow. So this person is saying,
that drew literal red lines
right,
around
that apparently that who knew, she's saying, who knew that the New Deal was racist and this and that? Okay, racist. So who knew that any map, right, that you're going to use to bash yourself into the future would be orchestrated and has something to watch out for, this and that, it has a little trail, you blah, blah, blah. So you're given all the cues and clues, right, apparently. But then you have to walk it yourself, right? So this person, they walk and walk, and so they had to walk through the new promise. But who knew that the map was already created for them to smash in the end, right? And then they would say, well, it was just not good. No, it served a purpose. The purpose is now evidently seen as the splitted mind, the splitted self, thinking that now they are somehow bringing to light, the racism of the New Deal. And now we just have to move forward with another map. Wow. Wow. Right? Because it couldn't be that all, the New Deal was just division, destruction of the family, another agenda point, another bullet form of destruction of man, really. Simple. How to just create ways to just constantly be hacking, right? At the lifeline that man is and his vision and connection with the creator. And who knew it would just create all bash swarm ways of defilement, unfulfillment, boast, pride, sense of, administering, right? The future and this and that and this and that. No, life brings life forth without your consent. I'm sorry, right? It does.
Black and brown communities, and basically it invested in white America.
Oh, she
And
couldn't wait.
what it
So
did
now,
was
now she's pitting, right, the blacks who and the colored and the browns and all the colors of the rainbow that aren't white. Apparently, all of them were just set up to just be slaughtered and bloodbath, right? Well, while putting the white cleanliness people just on a pedestal and launching them forward into the next, right? So, are you saying the whites are the breakaway civilization? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that somehow the whites are just blasted through the sun already, and apparently all the colored people are just bashing and still, enslaved and just killing each other? Is that what you're saying? It sounds like what you're saying. And if it's so, then it's complete bosh. Just, you're lost. Just trawl. Your brain can't handle the trawling anymore. Why are you doing this to yourself? Because I'm starving. I need to fish, but there's no fish anymore. But I just have to continuously just trawl and trawl and try. I just need to try. Oh,
that it allowed white Americans to have access to home loans that Black and brown Americans did not have access to, giving them the largest form of intergenerational wealth, which is real estate. And so this has really
so it was just a money grab and a real estate grab, and whites all of a sudden own all the land. So what's this person even talking about, right? Because you can go way back even before the bash, new America was founded and all this bash. Who cares, right? Because at the same time, what weren't other people around the globe that you believe in doing the same bash? Right? Weren't the Aztecs oppressing their people? Weren't, whatever civilization anywhere? And you say, no, 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 there's exceptions. The shamans, oh, worship the shamans. They were the ones that just wanted to live in peace. Wow, what a shame. You have no idea. You have no idea, but you worship Carlos Castaneda and all his bash alchemists and this, nothing. Because who knew that in all your alchemy, in all your witchcraft, in all your bash sorcery, wow, it's been the same bash since the Sumerians. Wow, who knew? Just relentlessly shapeshifted and just contorted and contorted and contorted. Repackaged, resold to you, and wow, now you can purchase this which with your basic income. But it's gonna cost you. So just sign up here, sign this petition, and blast, 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 and all of a sudden you're on your way to the abyss again. Wow, who knew?
It really accelerated many parts of an already horrific racial wealth gap that continues to persist today. So how do we? So I think a lot of it.
Of course, because the gap is just there, right? I just want you to believe in the gap, the gap, the gap, the gap, the gap that we're just relentlessly trying to wedge further apart, right? Instead of what bridging, no, right? All the bridges have been burned. Right? Every bridge, right? Every sense of notion to coming home, returning to the Father is relentlessly being burned. Set a fire, ablaze, right? It doesn't exist. All you have to worship is this black little dot that just will blast you to the future.
Is part of our personal responsibility to educate ourselves and to get.
Oh, it's your responsibility to educate yourselves, right? So don't go to school then. Tell everyone how bash education is and just just educate yourselves. Wow, amazing.
Past the revisionist history that we're taught in the 4th grade. And so that's, I think that's an important part, but also the messaging is important as well, in that it doesn't feel good to live in an unequal society.
Oh, it doesn't feel good to live in an unequal society. What does an equal society look like? So, number one, it feels not good. Aw, it doesn't feel good. Aw. It doesn't feel good to live in an unequal society. What does that even mean? This person will tell you the gap, the wage gap, the racism, blah, blah, everyone's treated differently, blah, blah, blah. Right? Wow, who knew? Why are people treated differently? Because it doesn't matter about their bash skin color. No, why are people treated differently? Right? Because individualism is boasted, proud, just blah, 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 be whatever you want, this, that, therefore you're treated differently. And the person is an asshole, and that guy's, he's a nice guy. And this, and that, and this, and that, and that, and that, and this, and this, and that, and that, and this, and you're contorted, twipped, and now you're flipping. You're flipping, spinning, dancing away. And you're just also equal, but some are poor and some are not poor, and this and that. So who knew that in your own splitness is what makes you feel uncomfortable? Your own split mind, your own, differentiating between things and that and that and that, and all the relentless definitions and split categories and subcategories and this, that is what makes you not feel good. Who knew? There is no union in you, zero certainty, zero truth. So who knew that would make you feel not good? So what are you saying? No, this person is going to blame the white man. Amazing. This person blames the white man for all the sufferings of inequality and all this bash. Wow, what a shame.
It doesn't feel good. Like, I walk through
when the reality is, doesn't it come down to of what a person worships? Yes. But this person is going to wordsmith you into telling you, man's oppression and just unpaid. We want to be paid the same and this and that and this and this. And the difference between men and women, wow, we just need to bash and smash that. And right, it's just division, pitting you against each other and just killing each other. Who knew?
New York City, which has the highest rate of people who are homeless today than in any
And
other
you say,
time.
well, what proof is there that if I start worshiping the Creator, that things will change? No, they won't. The ways of the world are relentless, and who knew that the Creator's creation has resolve? But no, you say, no, well, then I won't try. Oh, because I want the flesh to get better. I want the fleshly experience to get better, and this and that and this. And man promises it, so I'll believe man. Wow, who knew? Stumbled, ditch, broken face, and now you're just, oh, help me, make me better, right? And there you go. Stumbling and coming back and begging some more. Beg, 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 beg. Nothing. Sodomized, defiled, abused again by your own hand, and then you go and do it to others. Wow.
Since the Great Depression. And at the same time, there are penthouses galore, 50% of which are vacant because they're people's
Wow, who knew there's palaces all over the earth, right? Are you going to boast about how there was privilege, right? And those people that build the pyramids, and you say, of course, because it was built on slavery and this and that and that and that and this and this and that and that and this and this and that and that and this and this. Wow. So then by your own standards, technology is wrong. Advancement, progress, right? Because apparently it's at the, standing on the shoulders, on the backs, on the faces of those who brought it forth. But somehow it leaves the sufferings of life, apparently, and technology has helped us so much. Has it? So you say there's so many mansions out there and all these posh things, but still there's poverty. So again, right? The notion that somehow nice things, apparently nice things, mansions, just boasting of the material wealth, right? Somehow the boasting of that to this person is wrong. Okay, so it's wrong. So why is it wrong? She won't say. She won't say because ultimately she does worship the material world. That's why she's trying to change it. Right? Blind to the actual life which she's abusing. In just boasting goddess type power. I just want to distribute it relentlessly to those in need and la. No. Those who are in suffrage need the peace of the unconditional love of the Father, so they may endure the flesh that is, sorcered and manipulated by those who are full in committed to the lie, to the counterfeit, you name it, to the counterfeit everything, and how the hand in supposedly making it all happen. They want to be they want to have that pride in saying, yes, I was part of that attempted to make life better once again for humans, once again. But who knew it's just ditching us left and right.
second or third or fourth home. And it doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good.
Is there anything in particular?
So again, she can't wait to just repeat. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good. People just stay in your feelings. Stay in your empath state because it's power. Your emotions are power. Right? No.
That you think you've learned that you
What have you learned in your emotional state?
didn't expect?
Oh man, what I've learned. I mean,
Oh man. So shouldn't people shame her for using the word man? Right? And say, oh, microaggression, this, gender, blah, 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 blah. No, but they won't because it's her. She's untouchable. Wow, what a shame.
there's so much that you're learning every single day.
Whoa, there's just so much you learn. Whoa. This person said nothing. Just like this person said nothing. Just boast, and just slithering you with some worm of how you're going to solve and eradicate poverty once and for all. Well, who knew it was all planned? The plan of the counterfeit and how and which which little point of light will fall so that the other one can continue. Which one will fall and which one will continue. Which one will fall and continue, right? Just so you can have a bone, right? And thinking that somehow you're progressing. No, it's just furthering of the agenda to destroy life on earth. To to make you completely worship the counterfeit and just take it in as the true promise. Who knew that's Satan's plan? Has been always. For the true promise, life everlasting with the Creator. Wow, who knew? The real purpose. There is resolve, right? The ridding of doubt forever. But no, you're relentlessly in doubt and in uncertainty and just listening to whatever this Bosch is saying, just emotionally strumming you, playing you like a fool. All because poverty, it just makes me feel not good. Wow, no, you're split. That's what makes you feel unfulfilled, and therefore you just see the world and are horrified by it. And in that sense, the famous line, you can't handle the truth, is dead on, right? From some Bosch movie. But who knew it's you can't handle the truth because it's right in front of you. So you've created some Bosch escapism, notion in your Bosch mind, and you engage with that instead. You worship the counterfeit and all its Bosch little variants so that you can go and somehow feel better about it. But who knew it still makes you feel ungood because you're not right, you're wrong. So what is it that you worship? And what are the works that you relentlessly boast about and how you're trying to help everyone? And those are my good works. No. What are the works in life, if not the works of highest principalities? Right? In obedience to the ordinance of the Creator. And who knew the world cannot stand that? And that's why anyone who what? That's why you don't look around and see the people being beheaded anymore or fed to the lions. Because they're in name only. Right? Because those who are in obey, what? They wouldn't stand for this, right? And say, wow, what are you doing, people? What has become of you? Come, have you not heard of the word? Of course they have. But who knew that the bash ways of the world have just marginalized them and created this life for them where they can relentlessly get $1 a day and this and that and that and that and this. So everybody's in it and somehow they're begging to get out. They're in it, but they're begging to get out or at least to have something to eat or this or that, right? Just begging, begging, begging. Why? You don't know. And then you say, well, this past place in Canada did it, and blah 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 blah. And you say, well, some people that are homeless or just poor, they don't care. They're just living, right? Fine. But then why is it used as one word, right? And the poor and this and this and that. Well, who knew that they like to just bash everything into one name and then slap it around and just shapeshift it, give it facelifts, and then just use it against you? Wow. No, it couldn't be, it couldn't be, it couldn't be. Well, keep worshiping these things and exactly suffer and die, for that is what you believe, and therefore that's why I say it. Yet the unconditional love of the Father is, and if we, what any person who humbles themselves and draws near to the Lord draws near to you. It's not a joke. But to you, that's the joke. And this is the real issues. These are the real issues, people. Just fight for them until death, right? I'm giving my life to my NGO and all the things that it stands for and mission and statements and this and that, vision. No, blinded. thieving, and abusing life. Who knew?